So, afternoon, girls and guys. We're going to do another video. And it's another video talking about that straight left arm. So 2 already been done. Now we're going to do another one. The problem with the straight left arm. And so this is a follow-up from why people learn the straight left arm. And something dawned on me a day, which is probably the big thing that I talk about all the time. And if we look at what people tend to do when they start golf, they take a golf club, they try to hit the ball, and they do this. So they completely miss the ball. It's a top. Then they try to hit it again, and so what you'll see is this, and then top it again. So what the pro is doing is that they're looking in slow motion. This is what we talked about last time, the videoing, the slow motion, the analyzing. So what's happening is that the pro is analyzing what happens. So they actually see that as they come to the ball, they notice that their arm will move up this way. You can see the left arm, and it starts to break down. Then they see the wrist doing this. So you'll see this, and it's called the chicken wing. This movement here. So you see this, you see this, you see this, you see this, you see this. Now, if we see pros on television in slow motion doing this, they come into the ball, bam, and they hit the back of the ball, and we see the arms do this. They actually extend out, because that's what's happening in fast motion. So in slow motion it looks like that. We were talking about that in the last video, that golf is analyzing how it looks. So what's actually happening is that the player is lifting, so they top the ball like this. We see that the arm breaks down like this. So this is another reason why the left arm straight is taught, because we have to keep our arm straight so that when we come through the ball it won't break down. So now the arm is going to be nice and straight coming through the ball. Now this is missing a point. If my brain wants to lift, which it is, it will lift with an arm straight. There's my lift. So now we see that my arm is nice and straight, but I've lifted and topped my ball. So now we're put into another conundrum where it will be, oh, but you actually stood up. That was your problem. You stood up. It's like, aha, I stood up. Okay, so I have to stay down. So your brain is now trying to stay down, and it's still lifting. It's like, oh, I topped it again. Oh yes, that's because you're falling back. You're falling back. Okay, so we have to now work on falling back. Okay, so we've got my left arm straight. I'm staying down. I mustn't fall back. And oh, I missed it. Oh, let me try again. And oh, I topped it again. I topped it again. Okay, so what's the problem then? Oh, it's your head moved. Ah, okay, so I have to keep my head still. So now it's going to be, okay, so you've got to keep your arm straight, and now we have to make sure we stay down, and then I've got to get myself forwards and keep my head straight. Still, okay, oh, let's do that then. Okay, oh, I topped it again. So it's top, got my arm straight, I'm not doing my chicken wing, I'm doing my flick with the wrist, okay. I've got my body still, okay, my legs are down, okay, I've got my head still, okay, right, weight forwards, I'm doing all that and I'm still topping. It's like, well, so I'm doing all these positions and movements that I've got to do because that's what we see the pro do on television in slow motion, but I'm still topping my ball. So we get to the real point. The real point is that your brain, I call it the instinct, we actually call it the reptilian brain. Your instinct, when it sees the ball, it wants to lift the ball up. So you'll swing your club up, whatever you do. It doesn't matter if your arm is straight, if you keep your body down, if you keep your head still, if you put your weight forwards, you will still lift. So we see where the problem is. The the golf teaching, is that it's looking at the positions and movement and saying, well, we have to change that, instead of realizing that we need to change the brain. We need to change what you're thinking, what your brain is thinking, what it's doing. So I always say, you're lifting, so you've got to stop lifting. So you say, well, how do I stop lifting? Well, you do all these tricks, keeping your club down, which we've talked about many times. Basically, I stand here, take the club back, push it on the ball, keep my club down. So we're training how to use the golf club, and by training to use the golf club, we start to not lift. So if I'm not lifting, now my ball's flying. So what we've done is we've changed the instinct, we've changed how your brain is working. So when we start doing that, and all my students do, and they get through it, and it's difficult, and there's crying and exasperation, and I'm never going to learn this, but we get through it. What happens is that all those positions we were looking for, left arm not breaking down, going forwards, staying in a what we call a static posture position, all of that happens by itself. People just learn, take it back, push, and they've done it. They're in it. So as a summary, going through that again, because like I say, it dawned on me the other day, it's like, of course, because people lift, they're going to scoop, they're going to move the hands this way, it's going to break down the left arm in slow motion. We're going to see this movement here, and that gives the green light to say to the person, your arm bent, you've got to keep it straight. And that is the answer to that question. Now, I think I'm just going to put an added bonus in there. The other problem that people say is ball position. I must have been standing too close or standing too far. Well, yeah, I mean, if I'm playing hockey and I run in, I could hit the ball here, I could hit the ball here, I could hit the ball there. If I'm playing tennis, I could hit the ball here, I could hit the ball there. So it's not a problem. Table tennis, my brain knows where the ball is, I can actually do that. So what happens here again is that people stand there, they chop the ball, and then they say, I was standing too close, or I was standing too far, or the ball was too far back, or the ball was too far forwards. That, unfortunately, is false. I can take my club and hit it wherever I want, because I know exactly where the ball is. So, I hope that clears that up. Comments below. See you soon.